Good morning, Facebook world. Live in Facebook and ready, 1, 2, 3. Woo! Bomb! There goes Jen.
Oh. Good work.
Yeah. Anyway, it's the last week of school. We're hanging in.
We're so excited for school to be out.
Oh my goodness.
The adults and the children.
Yes, I know. Ryan this morning, he was doing his little debate on like, nothing's going to happen. Why do I really have to go this morning? We sent him, that's what you do. And now we're here hanging out, chatting to Facebook. Oh, before the show starts. Benny's back there doing his thing. It's very thoughtful. Here we go. We're going to have intro music here.
Oh, intro music.
I know. We can't hear it though.
Oh, it's just like
everybody.
Dance to
I know. I'm just
pretend there's a beat.
They can hear it on the radio. All right. Let's see if we can kind of hear it.
Oh, we got a little country going on?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we can.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the 425 Show, your place to be for all things real estate and lifestyle related here on the East Side. I'm your host, Nicole Mangina, with Windermere Real Estate. Thank you for joining us today. We've got a super awesome guest, but before that, we always have our real estate update. It's a little slow in real estate right now. There's nothing really to read into that though, other than it's graduation week and the kids are getting out of school and everybody's distracted. And everybody has graduation now. It's big. There's move-up ceremonies, 5th grade, 8th grade, high school graduations. It's fun. I like watching all of the posts on social media. But the stats just came out. One of the things I love about Windermere is they put together monthly stats so that we as agents are up on the latest trends in the market and we can then help our clients be more educated when they're doing it. We will have these on the website after the show. You can go to NicoleMangina.com/podcast. And one of the things that I really enjoy about the way we do our stats is we break it down by area. You can see year to date, this year versus last year, the number of homes sold, prices, and days on market. Because as we've talked about several times on the show, one of the things that's different this year versus last year is there are now micro markets. It used to be the market was just fast and furious all across the board, but now each area is a little bit different. So it's really important that you're working with an agent who specializes in whatever market you're in, whether you're buying or selling. If you're thinking about doing something with real estate, I invite you to reach out. You can always send me an email, Nicole@NicoleMangina.com. I would love to help you, or if for some reason I'm not the expert in your specific area, I have a wide range of network of agents that I am always happy to connect you with. And so, without further ado, I'm excited to introduce today's guest, who has the honor of being our very first repeat guest.
Ooh.
I know. It's a big honor. I'd like
Thank
to.
you.
Hi, Julie Arnan is joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. And I know you have kids finishing their last week of school this week, and so thank you for making the time to be here.
My last week of freedom.
I know. I'm ready for it. Now that the kids are older, I'm so ready for them to be home.
It's nice to have the break in the schedule.
Absolutely. So Julie is, you may not know Julie's name, but I guarantee you have probably read one of her articles because you are a food and wine and travel writer for the likes of 425 magazine, Alaska Airlines. There's about a dozen different magazines.
Yeah, I got some shout outs from people traveling on Alaska Airlines this month because I have a piece about Bellevue in the in-flight magazine. So
lovely.
It's kind of funny when that pops up. They're like, hey, I know this person.
Oh, that's great. I know. I love that when kind of things connect. And if nothing else, after the show, I highly encourage you to go follow Julie's Instagram feed. Because that's really why she's on the show again. We've been stalking her for the last year because as she travels and goes to food and wine events, you take the most amazing pictures.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
And I have been to a lot of events and a lot of places this year. So.
You've been busy, so
yes, I have.
It's fun, and you take, like I said, you take great pictures and you post it. I have a list that I keep compiling of places that I want to go and travel with the kids, and usually you post something, I'm like, oh, yay, there's something else for the list.
That's
So
funny.
let's talk about some of the places you've been, what you've got. You've got all kinds of great stuff to talk about today.
Okay, well, places I've been. Let's see. I have been to Canada a lot this year. So in the last 12 months, 15 months, I have done BC. I've done a lot of different BC trips. I discovered a place called the Sunshine Coast, which I had no idea was a part of BC.
So I've heard of that, but what exactly is it?
So it is kind of between mainland, where Vancouver is, and Vancouver Island. So it is technically connected to the mainland, but you can only get there by float plane or ferry. So it's definitely isolated, but it's really beautiful. And then also Vancouver Island, I discovered, has more than Victoria.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, everybody knows about Victoria, but further up north, there's Tofino, which is
like the Wiccan-ish Inn.
The Wiccan-ish Inn, it's amazing. And it's the surf, surf capital of Canada, which, yes, there is a surf capital in Canada.
Okay.
They have a big surf culture. So that's been really fun.
Sweet, bruh.
Pretty much.
Awesome.
I have visions of Finding Nemo and the turtle.
Oh, yeah, right.
With the wetsuit, though.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so there's tons of fun adventures that I've been. I went up to BC wine country in the Okanagan this year, and did a little bit of Whistler stuff, which I know everyone and their mother's been to Whistler a million times, but we had a summer experience and a winter experience.
I think there's so much more to Whistler than people realize.
Like axe throwing.
I saw that.
That was
awesome. You can watch the video on Instagram if you follow Julie Arnan.
Yeah. A nice slow-mo of the axe.
And you kind of
stuck it.
You were good at it.
It's my inner aggression.
I love it.
Yeah, so lots of Canada. I've done some Central California coast stuff this year.
Okay.
In fact, in the June issue of 425, there's a piece about SoCal, so San Luis Obispo County.
Yes. Were those your pictures in that article? Amazing.
Yeah, I am kind of in love with SoCal and Paso and, that whole chill California coast vibe.
So is that like north of LA, south of San Francisco?
Yeah, it's halfway between, basically.
Okay. Got it.
It's great.
I love it.
Right now, today would be a good day to go.
I know, right? So it's great, and it was actually, I think, raining this morning.
It was.
Anyway, we're moving on.
Yeah. So those are some of the travels, but
that's awesome.
Lots of stuff locally too.
Yeah.
Wine country, Eastern Washington, and then the Willamette Valley. There's lots to do.
Were you just down in the Willamette Valley?
Yeah, I did a tour with Jackson Family Wines. They own several wineries in the Willamette Valley, and they have some really great properties. So it was fun.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they do.
What are some of your favorites?
Penarash Cellars, and then Grand Moraine Winery was fantastic, and it's one of the biggest properties in the valley there, and so they grow acres and acres and acres of.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I know that Willamette, it's a lot of Pinot, right? And then do they have other varietals down there that they do?
Pinot, of course, is the thing they're known for, but Chardonnay is making a big, is swell up, and they're starting to hone in on a good style, like it was all over the board between, crisp, like everybody wants it to be Chablis, or, California with a lot of oak. So they're finding their own style in the middle.
Oh, okay. I like it.
That's really good. Yeah, they have some Riesling. They have, let's see, some Pinot Gris, of course, but Pinot Noir is like
their thing.
Thing.
I like Pinot.
Yeah, it's great.
There's a wide variety of Pinots, though, as well.
There definitely
in terms of flavor and that kind of stuff. There's probably better wine terms that I could use for that. But I'm going with flavor.
Let's go with flavor. It's all about the flavor, It's a consumable.
There you go. Sorry.
Hey, well, you know what? Whatever works for you.
There you go. What about the Okanagan? What kind of wines do they do up there? I'm familiar with.
So Okanagan, it's the warmest place in Canada, and they have a huge variety. Like they're so young in the industry that they're doing kind of what Washington State is doing, in that they grow everything. trying to figure out, like, everything grows, but what works best. So they have some sparkling wines that are really good.
Nice.
But they're growing, big red wines as well.
Okay.
And with varying degrees of success. Some are good, some aren't. It's still a pioneer, area in terms of wine. So.
Sure.
Mhm.
Interesting. Okay. But fun to go check it out no matter what?
Yeah, and are you familiar with Osoyoos, Lake Osoyoos
No.
area? Okay,
Where's that?
so Osoyoos is kind of like north of Chelan.
Okay.
And it actually straddles the border between Washington and BC.
Oh.
So part of it's in Washington State, and part of it's in BC.
Okay.
So you can paddleboard across a national border.
Really? That's awesome. Awkward. That's great. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place.
Great. Well, and you've got a lot of local things going on as well. You are a woman of many talents. You travel, you take amazing pictures, you write about it, you inspire all of us to do that. But there's a lot of local things. You are on the sommelier team at Sea Star.
I am, yeah. I work a couple nights a month at Sea Star.
Mm-hmm.
So
Because that's another art, right? There's just the whole wine flavor part of it. Right? You're
Right.
never going to come on the show again. Like she's not educated enough
Oh,
to
no.
talk wine with. But there's the wine, but then it's the whole wine food pairing that makes it the true art.
Yeah.
And you are amazing at
And
that.
I don't know about amazing. I try. And the hospitality aspect of it,
Mhm.
and then also giving guests what they want. Like, if they insist on drinking Cabernet with their sushi, then that's what you give them.
There you go.
But I highly recommend some white wines, guys. There's some great white wines, great sparkling, and your somm wants to give you the best experience possible, so.
Well, and I think part of sometimes the reason why you would bring in a somm when you're picking wine is to pick something you wouldn't normally pick.
Right, you don't know about, or.
And to just enjoy the experience. I was reading on Sea Star's page this morning, there was one of your articles about even Rieslings,
Mhm.
and how that compare, which I think that's a perfect example, because I can honestly tell you I probably never voluntarily order a Riesling.
Nobody usually does,
Yeah.
unless they know.
What they're doing and but if someone recommended it with something, I think that would be fun to try it, to just see how that all plays together.
Yeah, and dry Rieslings are great with food because they have such a high amount of acid in them. But even like something that has a little sweetness is really good with spicy food. So spicy Thai food, moderately sweet, maybe off dry Riesling. Excellent choice.
Yeah.
Much better than a Cabernet,
Just
which
saying.
will really hurt with the tannins and the heat. Just don't do that.
No. I had it happen on Sunday night. We had a bottle of red open. It was great. Really enjoyed it.
Mhm.
And then what I was eating was a little bit spicy, and I took a bite of food, and they went back to the wine. I was like, man, I'm done.
They just don't work together.
They don't. I was so disappointed.
Yeah, the wine may be great, but when the pairing doesn't work.
I'm like, well, I guess I'm moving on. Back to
Yeah.
vegetables.
And there's quite a few restaurants that have opened on the east side as well. There's
Yeah.
Caroline Point has a new restaurant.
Have you been to Como yet?
I've been in. I haven't. I went in before it opened.
Okay.
A couple days before it opened. So Como is a project by.
I think
let's
Lee
see.
Cantless,
Yeah,
right?
Lee and Trevor.
Okay.
And so they also have Cantonetta,
Which is one of our all-time favorites.
Mhm.
We're doing family dinner there tomorrow night.
Oh, you are?
At Cantonetta. We love that place.
Nice. And Como was inspired by their trip to Lake Como.
Mm-hmm.
And it's beautiful. They have retrofitted the space, had been on the lake. I mean, it looks nothing like it did before.
And I love that they did it. Like, they did it right. I
They
haven't been there
did.
yet. I'm stalking them on Instagram again. Anyway.
Well, they like
but
replastered everything.
It's beautiful.
It's
It
beautiful.
fits the vibe, and
Mhm.
I looked at the menu. I'm excited to go try it. We
Yeah,
haven't been there yet.
and it's not like white tablecloth. Like, it's approachable.
Mhm.
It's like every, vacation place you want to be on the lake.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to try that one.
Yeah.
Perfect. What are some of the other new restaurants?
Spark Pizza in Redmond. So the
Yeah.
owners of Woodblock opened
Okay.
up Spark, and it's again like nice, family-friendly, casual place.
I've heard good things about it. I drove by the other night. I think it was a Saturday night after a baseball game, and it was packed. It was great.
Yeah.
I like seeing people succeed, right?
I
Anytime
do too.
in anything, but especially small business owners, you put that out there and you're willing to do something, and I just think it's great when people
Yeah.
find a niche and kind of do it right, and then works for them. So
'Cause it's so much work
it's, yes.
to open a restaurant. So much work.
Yeah, restaurants and wineries, I think, are really more a labor of love than anything
Yeah,
else.
they are. And speaking of wine, we've got Auction of Washington wines coming up in
Yes.
August. Picnic, which I always see you there.
It's fun. It's like my favorite event.
It is really fun.
It's so low. I was gonna say low casual. What I meant was low key and casual.
Mm-hmm.
Mixing my things here, but it's just a fun event. The weather, knock on wood, usually cooperates.
It's usually good. A couple years ago, it was hot.
It was
So hot.
right, but you get to try some good wines and
Yeah, and the winemakers are walking around. They're just like, "Hey, your glass looks empty. Would you like a little rosé? Would
Yeah.
you like a little?" You know,
and you
try
can
this."
talk to them and get the details, or you can just enjoy your wine and move on to the next one. And
Yeah,
keep
or
going.
you can go, bid on a barrel. So
Yes.
you can get
I'm
your own
still
lot.
enjoying my
Oh, what did you get?
Petite Verdot from Brown that I got not last year but the year before.
Petit Verdot.
I didn't know I was bidding on Petite Verdot
Oh.
at the time. It's at the end of the night, and then I got it and I thought it's really amazing actually.
It is, just a little lamb with that would be good. Just
Okay.
saying, a little
All right.
grilled meat.
We'll try that. I knew I liked the winery. I've had brown wines before. That's why I bid on it, and I didn't think that. I don't know what I thought, but it didn't occur to me to check for what kind of wine I was getting
You
from there.
didn't know what you're.
But that's part of the fun.
You just never know what you're gonna take home at the end of the night, huh?
Yep, pretty much. It was good.
Sounds like a wine event.
Yep.
But another cool thing would be I wrote about this I think in this month's issue of 425 is have you gone to Alderbrook recently?
No, I have never been there.
Oh well, you have to go there.
I know, it looks great, and people post there, and I think, oh, we should go, and
It's
I
like
haven't gone yet.
it's the perfect Northwest kind of camp, but resort.
Right.
It feels like you're at camp, but you're like a grown up in a nice resort
right.
because you're right on Hood Canal. But they are doing these.
Can you take kids there?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
And
think I'd go to book it, and then I wonder if the kids are going to be bored.
No, there's a pool. There's of course activities on the canal.
Right. I think you can paddleboard and
Yeah.
kayak and hike and
You
stuff.
can rent all that stuff.
Okay.
And there's golf across the street.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if your kids play golf, but
Yeah, my husband golfs. Our kids would be great golfers. Alex, I think, is afraid it won't interfere with his baseball swing. So he
Oh.
will not pick up a golf club because, heaven forbid, that affects the batter's
Smart
sparks.
move right there.
Yeah.
Kid's got game.
Yeah, it
Baseball
does.
game. You don't wanna mess that up.
No, we're
Good
not
job.
messing with. In fact, I got scolded by the orthodontist yesterday because he needs his wisdom teeth out, and they won't do it until after baseball season.
Right.
And
I get it.
the orthodontist did not see it our way, but it's okay.
Priorities, people.
We're not
Right?
interfering with his game.
That's funny.
So anyway, but Gary's a big golfer. He would love that.
Oh well, and also they have a chef that's been there for about a year, and they're doing this really cool culinary program. So, one, they have a cheese cave,
Oh,
so they're making their own cheeses.
nice.
But they have these dinners that are called Gathering Grove, and so they have cleared out a little section of their forest behind the resort, kind of up in the hiking area, and you can have a whole dinner out under the trees. They have a
Really?
cool- yeah, it's beautiful.
Aw,
They
I love
cook
that
over
stuff.
fire, and yeah, it's all like local stuff that
Okay.
they're connected with different farms and
I'll
whatnot.
have to get online
It's
today
awesome.
and see what they have for availability. Because
Yeah.
it's nice, it's close. You could go just 1 or 2 nights. It doesn't have to be a big production,
That's right.
right? Because you're not burning travel time.
Eat some oysters,
Perfect. Happiness all the way
Yeah.
around.
Yeah. But back here in Bellevue, there
Yes.
is something I wanted to bring up
Yes.
because
It's not food and wine related, but
totally not. I do write about
super
many different
important.
things.
Yes.
Um,
we're
so
multifaceted.
so one of our mutual friends, Larry Snyder.
Yes, shout out to Larry.
Hi, Larry. He connected me a couple of years ago with Congregations for the Homeless, and so they
Okay.
do. They have a men's shelter here in Bellevue that for 6 months out of the year they've been serving homeless individuals, men on the east side. And so he brought to my attention that the shelter closes every 6 months because the city of Bellevue, they're not up to code, and so it's only safe for them 6 months out of the year. So there's a group of men that have been working together to try to change this. So they've been working in the business community here to raise money to retrofit the building so that it can be open year round, which
I'm assuming it's closed in the winter then.
it's open in the winter. It's
Oh,
closed right
interesting.
now. So the winter is when they need it the most.
Okay, so they're only, interesting.
April 30th, the door's shut, and it's closed
Okay.
for 6 months. So they've been trying to raise money. They originally, the city thought it would cost almost $2 million to retrofit, but Kevin Wallace from Wallace Properties here in Bellevue, of course, his specialty is building projects.
Right.
And he said, you know, if I have the people I know come in and do it, we can do it for $750,000.
Oh my goodness, that's less than half.
Right. So what they're trying to do is get the businesses in the community to be part of the solution for it,
Yes.
because and there's a real reason why. In the U.S. Court of Appeals Ninth Circuit had an opinion, or let's say, what do you call it? When a legal opinion.
I don't know. You're looking at the girl who called wine flavor, so I can't help you.
Like a proposition, or?
No, so the Martin versus the City of Boise. There was
decision?
a decision. Thank you.
Yes.
Decision.
Teamwork.
Appreciate
Dream
that.
work.
They made a decision saying that if there's not a homeless shelter available, like for people to sleep in, that it's considered cruel and unusual punishment to say that they can't sleep outside on public property.
Oh.
So if you don't provide a shelter bed, then people have the right to sleep on public property, and you can't enforce those ordinances.
Oh, interesting.
So it's very much in the best interests of all the businesses and people of the city of Bellevue and on the east side to have a place for people to go, so
Absolutely.
that, you know, we can enforce the no sleeping in the park ordinance, and it's safer and cleaner for everybody.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal. They have raised $638,000 so far. Of the
Hooray.
$750. So to donate, and I did write this down. This is important. You can go to cfhomeless.org or email Joe Haley, Joe H at cfhomeless.org,
Okay.
and let's get it all the way up, and then they can start construction.
That's great. So,
Yes.
and how long will it take them to do the construction?
Well, once they start, it'll take several months. They have to
Right.
work with the water main and sprinkler systems. So,
Exactly.
Yeah.
That would be
but
huge.
hopefully it'll be done in time for them to be able to use it in the winter, and then it'll be open year
Open
round.
all.
Mhm.
Yeah, that would be great. Okay, so who do they, okay, let's say that again. If you want to contribute, really a little bit, if everybody just gave a little bit,
Yep.
they would be there and they could get this work done, right?
Yeah, and I think that's the point that the men that have been working with this project are making, is that the East Side is definitely interested in what works.
Right.
And when everybody comes together, government and people, we get the job done.
Beautiful
That's
thing.
the idea.
Right? Okay. I
so,
love it.
Joe H at cfhomeless.org, or just go to the cfhomeless.org website.
Great.
and
All
we'll
right.
donate
It's
them.
a challenge. Everybody, if you can give just a
We're
little
almost
bit.
there. It's
I
so
know.
close.
And you know what? And my heart goes out if people are homeless. There's always more to that story.
Mhm.
So my heart goes out to everybody. But as you're going into summer and you want your kids playing at the park, I mean, we've been in other places where the kids had a baseball game and they had to get the guys sleeping in the outfield off the field before the game. It was we're not in Kansas anymore moment. Yeah, so, it's better for everybody. You can feel good about your kids playing in the park.
Mhm.
People have a safe place to be.
Right, and really the idea is to, help these people have the resources they need
Yeah.
to not be homeless anymore, and to find, the support for whatever job, resources,
Mm-hmm.
mental health
Right.
in general. So, yeah, I mean, that's the goal.
Yeah, that's a huge thing. I don't know if you've ever read the book Evicted.
Mm-mm.
It's a phenomenal book, a fascinating book. Kind of on this line, but a little bit, in that it's about a Midwest city. I forget the city, but basically low-income people and the housing and the rents that they have to pay. But what it really, and I realize you're not paying rent to be in a homeless shelter, but when you realize the amount of time and energy, mental and physical, that people have to focus on just to put a roof over their head for one single night, you realize what that's taking away from their ability then to kind of get the rest of their lives back on track.
Right, especially if they don't have a social safety net, right? They don't
Right.
they can't go live with mom. They don't have a friend that will help them out. I mean, these are the people that slip through the cracks.
Right. Well,
And-
thank you for supporting that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting.
I'm
It's
glad
good.
I can be part of something that's actually important,
Yeah,
Not
I
that
think
food and wine aren't important.
everybody everything's important in its own way and serves its purpose. So but it's definitely wonderful that so many people are coming together, and that, did you say it's Kevin Wallace is doing the construction with his crew?
Yeah, so
Or
he's
helping to
at least
coordinate it.
facilitating that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful. That's
Yeah.
a big deal.
It is.
Excellent. Great. So there's that. Do you have any trips coming up? Or you've got some
Well,
other things going on.
I've pretty much been traveling every
A lot.
other week for the last 6 months. In between all this regional stuff, I went to Ireland, I went to France, so
Oh, that's right.
I've checked off a few big boxes for myself.
Where did you go in France?
So a couple nights in Paris, then we went to Champagne.
Mm-hmm.
We were disgorging a champagne for John Howie Restaurants,
Mhm.
so it's a grower champagne for
Mhm.
the Sea Star Restaurant. And then we went to the Burgundy region
Okay.
and tasted some more Pinot. And then back to Paris for a couple nights. So it was a 10-day trip.
Wow. That sounds fun.
It was.
And I'm jumping around a little bit, but did you learn how to use the sword? You just had a picture of you and a sword. It was awesome.
yeah.
Did you learn how to use the sword there, or was that this weekend?
No, I sabered my first sparkling wine this weekend, or this last week in the Willamette Valley.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
And you did it with, like,
I felt powerful.
confidence.
So there's the axe throwing, there's the sword. I mean,
Julie is a girl of many talents.
there's sort of a sharp objects thing
I
happening.
know. You in a dark alley have nothing on it.
I know. Some of my friends want to walk with me at night.
I
so.
think so. I feel
All of a sudden, I
safer
feel
knowing
very
you're
afraid.
around.
Just kidding.
Yeah, are you nervous over there?
I'm way over here. Yeah. Stay over there.
It was great. You looked like you were having fun.
I was so surprised.
Is it hard?
No, and I was so shocked that it worked. So
Oh.
I don't know if you saw the video, because you freeze the neck, and of course we were having fun with dry ice bucket. Like, let's freeze it fast, So
Yeah.
But then you just run the saber up the seam of the bottle,
Uh-huh.
and when it hits that frozen neck, it just flies off. But if you saw my face, it was like, what? It worked! I can't believe it. I thought it might not work for me, or I thought, like, what if it just explodes? Or I was
Right.
nervous.
Yeah, or you like, I don't know, you take out something with the cork, right? Like, I don't know what you...
Kill
That's why you don't stand in front of it.
Which seems obvious
I know,
after the
right? Ooh,
fact.
I would have watched.
But before...
Yeah, right.
Just paint the target on your head.
All fun and games until someone loses an eye.
Well, okay.
You
That
know-
wasn't on the video.
You know someone else has thought of that already.
Well, you
right?
see
Like-
all the fails of all
Right.
the ones that go wrong. So you're like, oh, if everyone's failing at this, it's got to be really difficult. And it's really not.
It's really easy. Yeah, one
Yeah.
of my friends was like, good job with that saber. I usually use a butter knife. I was like, oh, whatever. Like, it's so easy.
What?
I could just use a
But then what's the point?
That's right. It's much better with the sword.
Yes, you gotta go for the whole dramatic effect.
It's so
I'm always up for, like, oh, you want to try something new? Yes.
Of course. Okay. I'll be watching your Instagram feed for whatever sharp object activity you come up with next. I don't know what
I
it
don't
could
know.
be, but
Fencing?
oh, I bet you'd be great at it.
Maybe. That requires more finesse, not just throw it as hard as you can.
Okay. Well, that's all right. All right. One spot if you were going to go have a glass of wine on a deck somewhere around here this summer. Where would you go?
One spot?
Yeah. I know. No pressure.
The patio at Bake's Place is lovely.
Oh, yeah. I've been
Um,
there, but I hear it's awesome.
And
There you
then,
go.
of course, you cannot beat the view up at Ascend at the top of
It's pretty fancy.
the
I know.
Lincoln East Center. Yes, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And you can choose your patio then. Which direction do you want to
I
go?
know, right? They're everywhere.
It's
Awesome.
beautiful.
Cool. Thanks for making time to join us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's always good catching up with you. Again, it was Julie Arnan on the show today. We'll have all the notes on the website, NicoleMangina.com/podcast. Have a great week. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Cool.